Good morning, everybody. I am the Cynic. The past New Year's Eve in Cologne, Germany, according to numerous news outlets, played host to a group of about 1,000 men taking to the streets and groping and sexually assaulting young women in allegedly coordinated mobs. This led to over 100 women bringing forth complaints of sexual assault and rape all throughout the Eurozone. You'd think feminists would be all over this, decrying the rape culture of this disturbing act for what it was, a deplorable act of sexual terrorism. However, the opposite seems to be true in that the social justice crowd would rather address the cultural criticism therein. According to police reports, the majority of those detained were asylum seekers from the northern part of Africa, the Middle East, and reported that most of the mobs complained about looked to be of North African descent. And as we all know, according to social justice logic, criticizing culture is no different than racism, even if that culture is very much alright with rape and seeing women as second-class citizens. Still, it was a different culture, a very patriarchal culture, that committed this attack and many more, but less sensational attacks all across Europe. So, in this tug-of-war between anti-racism and anti-rape culture, it would seem anti-racism has won out in the SJW stance on which side to be on. With the mayor of Cologne participating in the hated practice of victim blaming by giving women a list of rules to abide by when out and around refugees. Rules like don't go out alone at night, keep an arm's distance away, and sticking in groups. This shocking twist of ideology is actually a little surprising. After accepting refugees has been criticized by people who said that, well, something like this would happen, many feminists, it would seem, are also standing more against racism than rapists. The typical argument from feminists and social justice warriors when confronted with these bits of news is, this weird deflection of, well, Western men do it too. I'm not sure I've ever heard of mobs of Western men roving around in rape gangs, but I'm open to being proven wrong. Funny thing is that this argument doesn't amount to much other than an irrelevant detail. Muslim men went out into the streets and raped German women. Well, let's not forget that German men have been raping German women forever. As if this is some kind of argument. Sargon of Akkad did an excellent commentary on this against the Young Turks. Links below. Though the biggest deflection I've been seeing from the social justice media is their inability to accept the reality of the situation. Instead, they stay in the shoulda, coulda, woulda loop, mixed with non-solutions, of course. Saying things like, well, this shouldn't have happened because women don't deserve to get raped, or women shouldn't have to defend themselves from rapists. Rapists just shouldn't rape. As if ethics and deservance is part of the equation of consequence and cause and effect. But I'll indulge this line of logic for a moment. Did the women of Cologne, Germany deserve to get sexually assaulted? No. No, they did not deserve to get sexually assaulted. But guess what? They still got sexually assaulted. Did that help? Did acknowledging that they didn't deserve to get molested and raped make them, well, not molested and raped anymore? No. No, it did not. These women are still victims of molestation and rape. And due to the lack of viable solutions presented by the people, the number of women, and likely children and even men, are going to go up. The number of people who will be getting raped will be going up. Deserved, not deserved, it doesn't matter. The number of people who will be getting raped and molested will go up. Thinking that rapes and sexual assaults won't happen because they shouldn't happen is a laughable idea, so long as there are people looking to commit immoral acts relying on universal morality for protection is not only a ludicrous idea, it's also a dangerous one. Reality doesn't play by the rules of shoulda, coulda, woulda land. It plays by the rules of what logical sense and consequence dictate, or what is most likely to happen with small variance in accordance with small variables. Now, no matter how loudly you cry for it, no matter how hard you wish, no matter how much you shame or blame, the reality of the chains of cause and effect will always be more substantial than the banner flag of right and wrong. While there are some who still cling to the belief that morality will be the end of rape, there are some who have accepted the reality that morality cannot stop rape. So, now that some have come to accept these kind of events cannot be stopped by morality and shame, what are these people doing now? Well, they're doing what many MGTOW have been saying women would do for years when times got tough. They've come out and demanded men's protection from the rapists of the refugees. Apparently, women are strong and independent right up until the rapists come. Anita Sarkeesian and all other critics of how females are portrayed in video games take a really good look at Germany right now. I have to say I'm very disappointed in it. Disappointed, but not surprised. I was kinda hoping that when something like this happened, when women's strength was called to task as a group, we'd finally see their steel and what all of their girl power amounts to. I am sad to report that it looks like these women's independence and strength amounts to this. When times are tough, call upon men to fix the problem. Disappointing, but not surprising. But it really isn't surprising when one takes a look at the mind-numbingly stupid actions feminists and their like have taken to try and curb the problem. In broad daylight, protests are done by women in order to show that these actions will not be tolerated. As if holding signs in the sun with no real threat present will have any real effect against those who'd seek to do them harm. Women demonstrate in broad daylight in large groups, but want men to do night patrols to protect them from the real danger when and where it comes. Luckily for them, a few white knights have risen up to answer the call, but apparently not enough for their liking. So, where does this leave the women in Germany and the rest of Europe? Well, with men being emasculated / calling women to task on their independence and strength, SJWs condemning the very men they want to protect them, and the absurd notion that Western morals and ethics should protect against those whom do not share those morals and ethics, but find them laughable, it leaves these women very, very, very screwed. They are too busy trying to assign blame to stop and think of viable solutions to the problem, which will result in the continued molestations, rapes, and games of Taharrush. Deservance and Western morals have not and will not stop these criminals, just like it has not and will not stop the local criminals. I know, criminals not following the law? Fucking astounding concept, right? I like to think of an analogy where a house is on fire in comparison to people like this. If a house is on fire, it does not stop the flame to decry how the owner doesn't deserve to lose their home while it burns. Fire does not care about right or wrong. It does not concern itself with its theft of labor and the lives ruined from its consumption. And neither do the rapists in Cologne, Germany, and all throughout the Western world. Like the fire, it is pointless to decry their victims as deserving or undeserving of the fates that befell them, for the rapists, like fire, do not care what they ruin. And now the consequences of allowing the refugees from a culture that differs heavily from the local culture are coming to fruition, the women are demanding protection from it. It's not racism, it's not bigotry, it's a sad fact of life. The differences between the cultures are irreconcilable, and now we shall observe their clash. So, to all the MGTOW men and the men who understand consequentialism and its supremacy over virtue ethics, all I have to say is grab a comfy chair, get cozy, grab yourself a bowl of popcorn, and watch the world scuttle about chasing its own tail while it burns. Enjoy the decline, my friends. It may be tragic, but it is also funny, yeah? I am the Cynic, everybody. Have a nice day.